Hey there, Scorpio Sun, Scorpio Moon, Scorpio Rising. It's Maggie from Moon Directed. Welcome to my channel. Here we work with the energy of the moon to see how we can best utilize it to move our life forward in the most positive way possible. I am having a lot of internet glitchy stuff because of all the internet traffic. I'm literally doing this thing first thing in the morning, hoping to beat some of that. So let's see if yours turns out a little better than some of the other ones I was trying to do yesterday. So I did channel a message for you. And so let's go ahead and dive right into that. While I'm dealing out the cards, I'm going to flip the camera down so that the glitchiness thing doesn't bother everybody as much as it bothers me. It drives me crazy. Okay, so what I saw for you, before I get into that, the best way to connect your energy with mine would be to leave me a comment or an emoji, because I put you in my book of names, and then when I'm channeling messages, I'm actually trying to channel into your energy, so I really want to encourage you to do that. And I also appreciate it every time you leave that thumbs up. It tells me, kind of like, hey, thank you so much for, that 1 or 2 hours you put into this. And I just want you to know that I appreciate it when you take the time to appreciate my work. So the message, what I saw was actually really, really meaningful to me. I saw a lotus that was pushing up through the water. So a few years ago, when I was really beginning to really dive into my spirituality practice, I have a friend who's a shaman, and she was doing some work on me. And when she was done, she goes, "Did you see anything?" I'm like, "Yes." I go, "It was the weirdest thing. I saw myself swimming up through like murky light or something, and then toward the sunlight, and then I popped up and I realized that I was a water lily." And she starts laughing. She goes, "Yes, I saw that." She had written it down that she had seen a lotus. And so that's what I saw for you guys. I saw the process of swimming up through the water, and I'm like, wow, that is so cool, because it was really and truly a major point. I don't really want to say it was the beginning, because it wasn't the beginning, but it was definitely a major milestone in my progress of where I was going in a very spiritual way. And so as I was watching you guys reaching for the sun through the water, I heard, "You will rise and be part of the beauty of the world. This is your destiny." And I'm going to say that again because I got chills when I heard it. I just got chills when I read it. And I really want you to understand just how much energy was vibrating when I heard it. And then as I wrote it, it was vibrating again. And now just as I said it. So you will rise and be part of the beauty of the world. This is your destiny. God, ooh, okay. So I've been really excited to get to your reading for the past 2 days since I channeled that message, and I was too tired last night, and I thought I just wanted to have you guys have nice fresh energy. So here we go. This week we start on Monday. The moon moves into Libra at 3:09 in the morning, and at the same time we've got the sun in Taurus coming into conjunction with Mercury, which means the light, which seems to be a big deal. The light will be shining on some piece of helpful information for you, something that you need to know. So information is coming to light. You might notice a little tension around an area in your life that needs to be healed, because the moon will also be in opposition to Chiron over in Aries, but things are coming to light for you. And so this energy of this moon is about finding your willpower. It is about seeking. See how she's got her face behind a mask, though? I think this is about pulling within, finding your willpower, not getting it from other sources. It's the power of the I am statements. It's the presence. It's the activation of the manifester, the God creation manifester inside of you when you make statements that are like, I am. Okay, so it's finding your willpower. I am powerful. I am capable. I am manifester. I am abundance. I am healed of all past life karmic trauma across all lifetimes. Whatever it is that you need to do, I am. Okay, and then really focus on it. So one of the things you could do to focus on is to write it down. I still use index cards. I started this practice, gosh, a couple decades ago. It has changed my life. I write the I am statements in index cards, and then I actually speak them over water, because water will crystallize the intention. I let it sit overnight. But and then I drink it in the morning, but then I read them again in the morning. I constantly check in. If I happen to pass by my pile of index cards, I stop and I pause, I center, and I read them again. It matters. It helps to ingrain it within you. So whatever it is that you are seeking to do, because you have here the Goose card. Your dreams and desires are calling you to action. The journey begins today. Oh my gosh, I have chills. The journey begins today. You were pushing up through the water. Okay, so I don't know if you know how a lotus is. It's this really tough seed. Oh, it's super tough, and something has to crack it open. So if, for instance, you want to grow water lilies in a water feature in your property, you have to take a knife or a drill or something and cut through the outer part of the shell in order for the seed to grow. So they have to scrape along the bottom and get nicked by rocks or something in order for them in nature to grow. They have these tough little seeds, these tough little shells. Does this sound familiar to you, Scorpio? That tough little shell, right? Everything feels like it's so much work cracking out of that rock. Remember a few months ago you guys had the phoenix that was cracking out of the rock shell of its egg? This is you. You have to crack through this really tough exterior, right? And then you have to have the right conditions, and so it roots down into the mud, and then it starts growing, and then all of a sudden it'll shoot up through the water, and the waters of the emotions, the deep waters of the healing and the emotions that you guys, this is what you came here to do, right? And then as you burst out into the sunlight and you start to create those leaves and you start bringing in the sunlight into your life, and then the lotus flower, which represents chakras, but it's more than that. It's the seed of creation. It's the seed of life. Starts to slowly open, and every morning it opens to the sun. In the evening it closes back up. Water lilies, lotuses, whatever, they are just stunning in their life cycle and what they do. And so here you have your dreams and your desires are calling you to action. The journey begins today, and I cannot encourage you enough to take the time to sit down and write out your I am statements and speak them over water, right? The water lily, speak them over water. There's so much manifestation power in that. Then drink the water with reverence and intent. It's like, be intentional in what you're doing and go out and co-create with spirit your magnificent life. You deserve it. Okay, you've been doing the hard work. You deserve it. On Tuesday, the North Node is going to enter into Gemini, and so things are shifting and changing. It wasn't that long ago, about 10 years ago, I guess, when the North Node was in Scorpio, and you were probably really feeling that. Well, the North Node is in, well, it wasn't even, it was like 6 years ago. The 2013, 2012 area, I think. The North Node is going to be in the Gemini Sagittarius axis. So if you have prominent planet placements in Gemini and Sagittarius, you're going to notice that you'll be beginning and ending a lot of things. This cycle will really trigger you. And then in a year and a half, it'll move into Taurus, which will be in opposition to Scorpio, which means that, again, you'll be triggered. And so this is an opportunity to really promote some growth, to really move things forward over the next couple of years for you. So begin now, take action, and start now. Okay. Wow. The energy in this room is just so intense right now, I can barely breathe. Okay. The moon is going to move into Scorpio at 3:05 in the morning on Wednesday, and then we have a full moon there on Thursday morning at 6:45 a.m. It's at 17 degrees and 20 minutes at Scorpio. So any planets that you have that are in Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, or the fellow water signs of Pisces and Cancer will be significant. So check and see what's going on. There will be a need for change or a support of change. Support of change will come from the other water signs. And so This is some really nice energy, though, that's surrounding this full moon. And this full moon is about trusting that the eggs, the seeds that you're planting are going to grow into something. But this is also about taking the action. And so I can't encourage you enough to use this full moon as an opportunity to sit down and write in gratitude for the lessons that you've learned. Be willing to release, to cut back, to prune out of your life the things that are not working, and to start new practices, baby steps. Index cards are baby steps, right? It's just a baby step. It is an intention that you are developing and actively working on. And so, take the opportunity to do that. I will say that with the moon in opposition to Mercury in Taurus, you're going to need to keep some information to yourself at this time as you're planning and moving and taking action on whatever it is that you're doing. But that doesn't, just because you're keeping it to yourself, Scorpio, you definitely know that doesn't mean you're not doing something, right? So be doing something, be doing what you need to do here. Okay, you have a time for healing. You have a time for healing. I think that's your whole life, but that's because the moon is in Scorpio. It's a reminder. And then we have life is better together. Seek assistance from your community. Connect with family, friends, or others who will support you. It can be as simple as making a phone call. If you want to reach out to a friend, a loved one, and say, hey, I'm going through this thing. Here's some changes I'm making. I just would like you to listen while I talk about it. Or can you come over and help me move this sofa? Or, hey, is it okay? Oh, I guess it's social distancing. That's a little harder. But, reach out and talk to a friend. If you're someone you need to talk to, go ahead and do that. I mean, it's hard right now with all this social distancing, and we can really withdraw into ourselves. And sometimes we have to push back out into the world. It's, sometimes we have to make ourselves do that. Okay, so then on Friday, the moon is going to move into Sagittarius. This is nice supportive energy for that healing work that's going on over there in Chiron in Aries. But it's also about finding those healthy boundaries and to having the confidence to stand in your truth. And this truth is the one you get through self-reflection. This is where you stand there and you go, okay, look, our head's above the water or above emotion, right? So it's clear-headed thinking. It is reflecting on the people in our lives, the opportunities in our lives that have been teachers and where we have been the teacher, right? So sometimes we're the teacher, sometimes we're the student, being grateful for the lessons that we've learned and then saying, okay, but I'm done with that lesson. I'm letting that go and I'm moving on because I want to find the joy. I want to find the pleasure in life. I deserve, and you do, the joy and the pleasure in life. You deserve all the good stuff. And you have here, okay, so you have reflect and redirect. And this is a time of self-reflection. And when I see this, I think that redirect your energy. So redirect on what's positive, what's going to bring the joy, what's going to bring the happiness. One of the great I am statements you could write is, I am filled with joy. I am filled with joy. I see the beauty in everything. I am filled with joy. When redirect your energy to the positive things, it's called impasse. That means there's some situation that it's a stop. It's a hard stop, and maybe that's what you need to let go of. This is what you reach out and you talk to your friends about, and then you say, okay, this is done. I can't do, or it could just be something you can't do anything about right now. It has to wait. Maybe you need a job, but you can't get a job right now because everything's weird, and so redirect your energy towards something positive that you can do while you're waiting for the energies to shift around. So whatever it is, it's an impasse. It's a hard stop at this moment. Is it an ending? Possibly. Or is it just a time where you have to take a breather from that and go and focus on something else, something that's more joyful, more creative, more supportive, because we have this pleasure card here. And so finding the joy and the happiness, do something that's positive and good for you, right? Something positive that's good for you. Saturday is a lot of positive energy for spiritual time and getting some insight. So really pay attention to your dreams, your thoughts, you know, messages from spirit over the weekend. On Sunday is about finding the balance. Again, the moon is going to move into Capricorn at 5:39 in the morning, and it is a day to take responsibility for your actions and what you can do to bring balance back into your life. To bring the balance back into your life. So what can you do to facilitate that in your life? And also, hey, happy Mother's Day to your mother, to you mothers out there. And don't forget to wish your mother happy Mother's Day. I always have to remind my children. So don't be my children. Know that it is time to say happy Mother's Day. Okay, so here you have life energy. It says, the happy fairy of sunshine brings lots of life-giving energy. She reminds you to shine your light and to reveal anything in the shadows that needs to be healed. Well, there you go. That is Scorpio's life in a card. Okay, so we have friendship. So again, the friendship card showing up with life is better together. So I cannot encourage you enough to get out there and communicate with some friends today. Now is the time to seek out those who will support and encourage you on your journey to fulfill your dreams. You know, tell somebody, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm going to create. You know, and I just wanted to share that with you because I'm really excited about it. Or, you know, what can you do to help me? Do you know anybody, you know, maybe networking a little bit? And then we have magical gateway. It takes courage and trust to venture into the unknown, yet this is where the greatest rewards are. It is time to step boldly forward without looking back. It is time to step forward boldly. And it is action time according to the goose. And by the way, geese work in concert with other geese, right? They are team. They are team. If you've ever watched them, you know, like when one of them is flying, they're leading the way and pushing all the hard air out of the way to make it easier for everyone else. And then when they get tired, someone takes their space. If they're trying to cross the street, they cross the street in a very organized manner. Someone is standing guard to make sure that they get hit by the car first before everybody else. One of them's led the way to make sure it's safe. Others are following behind to make sure, you know, they're stationed there to make sure everybody gets across the street. I mean, geese work as a team. And so I think you're supposed to be looking for a team right now, and you have engagement. And I think this is not necessarily getting married. This is the engagement of engaging back into life after, you know, you've been working through some healing. So today I make the conscious choice to engage in the world in an active way. I'll take a new route. I'll talk to strangers. I will smile. I will smell flowers and pet dogs and maybe walk around barefoot for a while if I'm not inside a 7-Eleven. Social distancing, people. At the very least, I have a day that is slightly more interesting than average, and at the most, I will have a startling epiphany or make a friend who will change my life forever. No pressure. You are really being asked to engage with your friends, to take the time to connect this week. So find the time. You know, maybe it's engage with your mother. Maybe the part of the healing process is reconnecting with your mother, just even if all you do is call to say Happy Mother's Day, right? All right, you guys have a great week. It is the start. It is the start of something amazing. It is the first step. It is the new phase. So this full moon in Scorpio is releasing, it is a major ending of a cycle and an opportunity to begin the new one. So go for it. Don't sit on the sidelines of your life, all right? I will talk to you soon. I'll be back on Thursday. I don't know what we'll be doing, but we'll be doing something. You take care.